Hello and welcome to another Control-Delete tutorials. Today we're going to be looking at simulating cloth, or simulating different types of fabrics and things of that nature. So in a previous video I had done creating cloth using Garment Maker and doing some quick simulation with that, and just kind of showing how that works. So what I'm going to do is just a very simple simulation. So I'm going to take a box, just drag that out, and accidentally click on Photoshop. Just change the height of this, turn off my grid. Alright, let's go with a simple object. So I'll just go with, I'll create another box. I'm having bad luck with tutorials today of like things happening the way I want them to. So I'm going to create another box, and I'm going to create a rectangle. Let's make this a little bit bigger than our box. Kind of center it to it. I'm going to pull this up, and I'm going to put Garment Maker on here. Now I'm not going to do the same Garment Maker tutorial, but I am just going to let it create some simple geometry to allow wrinkles. I'm going to set my density to 1. That's pretty dense. Let's go a little bit less than that. That's better. Okay, let's turn off realistic just so we can see what we're dealing with. So I'm going to get rid of that cloth modifier. So I'm going to apply the cloth modifier to this, and I'm going to go into Object Properties, Rectangle. I'm going to set that to Cloth, and I'm just going to make that, just make it default. And then on top of that, I'm going to add in my 2 box objects. I'm going to say OK, and they're going to be collision. Let's leave them at 1. Okay. So now, if I simulate this, it should fall down on top of the box and on top of the plane that I have. So I'm going to click Simulate. Okay, that's better. Ooh. And it may have been falling pretty fast there. Too fast to actually catch the simulation from happening. So I'm going to undo the simulation, erase simulation. Okay. And I'm going to check to see why this might have happened. So I'm going to apply Cloth again, Object Properties, Rectangle, set that to Cloth. Just go with the default. Okay. I'm going to add in the boxes also. Just make sure I set these both to collision objects. I want to check all this just to make sure that everything is staying right. So that's a cloth, set to default, that's a collision, that's a collision, and I'm going to say OK. Let's move this up above quite a bit. So I'm going to turn my gravity down just a little bit, just to see if, you know, it seemed like it simulated that really fast. Let's go even lower than that. And I'm going to simulate again. There we go. So it should try to fall over the object in this manner. If the simulation is happening so fast that whenever it hits, it moves through it before it has a chance to detect a collision, it's going to just fall all the way through the object. Okay, so I'm going to hit cancel here. I'm going to turn my gravity all the way back up to where it was, and I'm going to simulate the rest. Alright. So now I've got keys for the simulation, and you will see that it does speed up since I did that, but down at the end. That's mostly because I just wanted to see if it was actually going to do it. So I'm going to erase the simulation. I'm going to try it again, but this time leaving my gravity settings the same here and see if it'll be okay with that. Good, yeah. So I probably had it too close to it before and it just ended up passing through the object, which, you know, can happen. So we'll let that kind of get relaxed there. And I'm going to hit cancel to stop the simulation. So, because it's basically stopped at that point. So I'm going to go back and now we can see it hit and kind of collapse there. Now depending on the different settings that we have for this, like if I set this to, instead of being that default, let's say I do rubber, and this is going to be kind of weird. So I'm going to hit OK, and I will simulate again. You can see how, again, part of that passed through because it was just simply moving too fast. So I'm going to hit cancel. I'm going to erase simulation. And I'm going to change my subsample here to something higher to kind of help it detecting the simulation from happening there. I can also go into my properties and tell the cloth to let's see, I can also tell it to self-collision. That's what I wanted. So I'm going to set this back to the beginning and I'll see if simulate is going to work better for us again. So now you can see it's going a little bit slower as it's trying to process because it's trying to pick up on these collisions better. So now we can see it didn't actually pass through it this time like it did last time, which is really nice. Okay, so I'm going to cancel and turn off the simulation. We'll kind of watch that through and we can kind of see what it does. So this kind of fabric, since it's rubber, it just has a lot of, it falls down and doesn't have a lot of follow through to it. So let's go ahead and do erase simulation, and we'll do something like cotton. And on top of this, I'm going to add a sphere. And I'm just going to put that sphere right there. I'm going to go back to my cloth and I'm going to go to object properties. I'm going to add in my sphere. So I'll add that. I'll hit OK. And so now I'm going to do my simulation again. I have my settings there. But this time I'm just going to simulate it all the way down without animation first. So I'm going to do damped, which is a it moves everything a little slower so that I don't have the chance of it falling through. Let's see. Alright, so we actually had a little problem there. I went to simulate and it turned out I didn't make my sphere a collision object. So something I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn the friction of both of the dynamic friction and the static friction all the way down. So I'm going to hit OK. And now I'm going to take the sphere and I'm going to move it around underneath here. I'm going to animate it. So I'm going to turn on auto key. I'm going to go I don't know, like 36 frames, let's say. And I'm just going to do kind of a triangle pattern. And I have no idea what this will end up doing. I'm going to copy the last key here, hold shift, and drag that over so it comes back. And I'm not really sure. So we'll see what it does. So I'm going to simulate that. And once again, actually I'll leave it unpaused. I'm not going to say I'm going to pause it just in case something funny happens, because then you can kind of see it and we'll watch the simulation. So I'm going to click simulate and see what happens. So it should be having the ball traveling underneath the fabric, but could be the case that it actually pulls it all with it. It moves it completely off the table. It looks like it's doing pretty good so far, though. A little bit better than I had really expected it to do. Alright, so it looks like it's going to be fine. I'm going to pause the video, and then when we come back, we'll watch the simulation. Alright, so if we come back to the beginning of this, it actually did end up working. I did lengthen the timeline to go past 100, so it's going to 140, just so the cloth will kind of come to rest a little bit more. So we'll watch this and see what it looks like. Pretty cool. So the reason I turned the friction off on the sphere is because it would have actually tried to pull some of the fabric with it more if there was friction there. So if I wanted to, you know, make some sort of animation where it looked like something was coming out from under a blanket or something on the edge of a bed, kind of for a horror game or something like that, I could do that with this and kind of, you know, make something like that happen, especially if I took the sphere and I took it underneath the box and then pulled it all the way up through to make it so the bed looked like it was just kind of made, and then this thing's coming out and it's going to get you. These are some of the things that we can do with the simulation. That's all I really wanted to show in this video. If there's more stuff you'd like to see with the simulation and kind of messing around with it, leave me a comment. Let me know what you'd like to see specifically, and I'll try to walk you through how to do that. I may do another video where I have show how to use it with like a character's cape or something like that. So that might be another video that I end up doing to show that. So I hope you like this video. Please like and subscribe to my channel and to my videos, and share them with people you think might really enjoy them or use them. I do have a Patreon if you want to go there and donate a couple bucks. I know people do appreciate the videos, and I'm happy to do them, but you know, if you want to throw me a couple bucks, that'd be great. Anyway, thanks for watching.